We did it. Well, almost. Day 29 of Love Series. If you're here, that means you made it through the entire series. Congratulations. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Let's get started. We're going to start today, legs out in front, sitting up nice and tall. You should look like a perfect letter L. Shoulders down away from your ears. Nice straight spine. Nice long neck. Crown of the head pulls up. Let's just take a moment and breathe, becoming present on our mat. Closing your eyes. Take an inhale. Completely exhale. Inhale. Completely exhale. One more time. Deep breath in. And completely exhale. Letting go of everything else we have going on today. Let's be present for the next 40-ish minutes. All right, go ahead and gently open your eyes. We're going to begin with our arms over our head, breathing in. Exhale, bending from the hips. We're going to come forward and just round it through. Everybody's probably all tight and sore. Arms overhead, breathe in. Exhale, just round it through. Just gently warming up the body. Breathing in, arms overhead. Exhale, round it through. And on the last one, we're going to breathe in, lifting the arms overhead. Exhale, slowly hinging from the hips. And see if you can grab your toes or maybe your shins, or you can place your hands down by the side of your legs, whatever's most comfortable. Keeping a nice long spine, so we're not rounding the back. We're keeping a nice long spine. And just breathe. Taking a few breaths. And slowly come on up. Bringing the right foot on the inside. We're just rounding through, breathing in, arms overhead. Exhale, just round it through. Breathing in, arms stretch overhead. Exhale, hinge from the hips, rounding it through. Kind of like you're a choo-choo train. Breathing in, arms overhead. This time we're going to bend from the hips, exhaling. Grab those toes, keeping the spine nice and long. Neck in line with the spine. So try not to hunch your neck. You don't need to look up for this, just stretch. Taking a few breaths. The more you breathe in these stretching postures, the more your muscles relax and the less it hurts. Well, it shouldn't really hurt, but you know what I'm saying. The less sore you feel. And let's slowly rise up. We're going to switch the legs now. Right leg comes out long. Left foot comes on the inside of that thigh. Breathing in, arms reach overhead. Exhale, just round it through. Doing that 3 times. Marrying the breath with the movement. And on the last one, we're going to stay there. Nice long spine. Take 3 breaths. And slowly come on up. Bringing both legs out long again. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. If you're working on half lotus, you can bring that leg up a little bit closer to your hip. If not, a modification is just crossing it over in your figure 4 Just like you would cross your leg when you sit down. Sitting up nice and tall. Reach those arms overhead. Hinging from the hips, exhaling, touching the toes. Keeping a nice long spine. Feeling a much deeper stretch this time. Take 3 breaths. And slowly begin to rise. Gently release that leg. This time we're going to cross the left leg over the right. Again, a modification is just to cross it over right above your knee. Just make sure it's not on your knee. Or if you're a little more advanced, maybe you're practicing your half lotus. You can bring that foot up closer to your hip crease. Sitting up nice and tall. Arms reach overhead. Breathing in. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Grab your toes or your shin, or place those hands down on the mat. Nice long spine, and we breathe. 3 breaths. And slowly begin to roll up. Release that foot. Let's stretch our, warm up and stretch our wrists. So grab those 4 fingers, pull them underneath your forearm. Take a breath. Pulling them over that forearm. Take a breath. Other side, left hand, pull those 4 fingers under the forearm. Take a breath. And you should only feel a stretch, like don't pull too hard to where it strains your wrist. And pull them over that forearm, take a breath. Wrist circles. And reverse. We're going to open those hands wide and make a fist. Open them wide, stretch those fingers, bring them into a fist. One more time. And bring them into a fist. Let's go ahead and, you know what? I do want to stretch the neck before we come onto all fours. Just come into a regular seat, or you can stay with your legs out long. Just make sure you're sitting up nice and tall and that your neck is in line with your spine. We're going to look to the right. Take a breath. And do not overdo it with your neck. So do not push yourself here. Like just go as far as you can and stop there. Do not push your neck, ever. Coming through center, look over to the left. Take a breath. Coming back through center. We're going to tip our head so that our right ear comes towards the right shoulder. We're not lifting that shoulder up to the ear. Keep that shoulder down. And then gently nod your head yes while you're still in that position. Slowly and controlled, being very mindful of your neck and your spine. Bringing it back up through center, nice and slow. Tipping the head over to the left shoulder. Keeping the shoulder down. Slowly and gently shaking the head yes while still in that position. And coming back slowly through center, bringing your chin to your chest, turning the chin over to the right shoulder, coming back through center, turning over to the left shoulder. One more time, center, turning to the right, coming back through center, and turning to the left. And come back through center. We're going to look up gently. Don't cock your head back. Come back through center, looking down. Come back through center, looking up. Come back through center, looking down. Perfect. All right, now we can come on to all fours. Let's make those fingers nice and wide, coming right under those shoulders. Knees come right under those hips. Feet are flat on the mat. Just making sure that we're aware of our core. And by doing so, you just lift your belly up, your belly button up towards your spine. So you want to act like your belly button is coming towards your spine, and just keep that picture. You don't have to tighten your quads super hard. Just lift the belly button. That's it. When I say tighten the core, that's all I mean. Lift your belly button. We're going to take a deep breath in, stretch that right leg out, coming onto the ball of the foot, push back with that heel. Take a breath. Lift that right leg. Square those hips. Be aware of that core. Left arm comes out. Stretch as far as you can, like somebody's pulling your hand and your toes at the same time. Keeping those hips square to the mat. Take 3 breaths. Lower that hand down. Lower that leg down. Let's take it to the left. Bringing the ball of that left foot to the mat. Push back with that heel. Take a breath. Lifting that left leg. Square those hips. Lift that belly button. Right arm comes out. Act like somebody's pulling your fingers and your toes at the same exact time. Being aware of your core. Making sure you're not tipping. Square those hips to the mat. Take 3 breaths. And lower it down. It's much harder to do that pose when your core is not lifted. So that will help a lot to help, so that you can balance better. Let's bring the right leg up. Again, squaring the hips. Being aware of the core. Lifting the belly button. Breathing in. And we're going to bring it to the right and then kick it out. Bring it to the right, kick it out. Just warming up those hips. And I'm not coming all the way up. It's just a slight bend, kind of like a frog leg or a fire hydrant. Trying to square those hips at the same time. A lot of multitasking in yoga. And 3. Make sure you're breathing. 2 and 1. Go ahead and lower it down. Taking it to the left. Left leg comes out. Square those hips. Tighten the core. And start. Make sure you're breathing. Three, 2, 1. Knee comes down. We're going to come onto our forearms here. So the forearms come right to where your hands were. They're right under your shoulders. Hands come wide. We're going to take a deep breath in. Tighten the core. Lift the right leg, exhaling. We're going to do some hip circles. And now we reverse. Keeping the rest of our body as still as possible and not holding our breath. Lower that leg down. We're going to take it to the other side. Lifting that belly button, breathing in and exhale. Breathing as we do those hip circles. Reverse your circle. And lower it down. Come on up to those hands. We're going to do puppy pose. Knees are under the hips. We're going to slowly stretch those arms out to the front of our mat. And as we do that, we're going to sink our chest and our chin towards the mat, letting it melt. And then you can bring your third eye or your forehead to the mat. Breathing. If you feel like your upper back is really tight and this is very uncomfortable, you can widen out your elbows a little bit, opening up the space in that upper back. Take one more breath. And slowly begin to lift your body, walking those hands gently back under your shoulders. We're going to curl those toes under and come right into our downward dog. Checking the stance in your downward dog. I'm just walking up so you can see me better. Pedal those feet, stretching out the backs of those legs, but making sure that your tailbone is towards the sky. Maybe your stance is too far apart and you feel like it's just so hard. Maybe try stepping it up. It's going to take a lot of weight off of your arms. And who cares if your heels are way up here? We want to work on getting that spine straight, that tailbone up to the sky. Eventually your heels will sink down. Pedal those feet, breathing, never holding your breath, especially when your head is upside down. And on your next breath in, we're going to take the right leg high, keeping those hips square to the mat. Flex that foot that's in the air. And we're going to exhale, bring that knee to chest, coming forward, shoulders over wrists. Step it up. You might need to help that foot along. Lower down on that back leg and flatten that foot to the mat. Slowly rise up, squeezing the inner thighs to help lift you. Bring those hands to your heart. Take a breath. You can slowly sink forward a little bit on that front leg. We're going to twist over, bringing the outside of the left elbow to the outside of that right leg. Now that right elbow is lifted towards the sky. Eventually, I will get my hands to the center of my heart. Eventually. Many, many years from now. Yoga is patience. It's recognizing where your body is now and being appreciative of that. And it's not a competition with anybody else. Your yoga practice is a competition with just you. That's it. The you were yesterday, right? Take one more breath. And slowly coming back through center, lifting back up to a neutral position. Breathing in, exhaling, framing that front foot, hands come flat on the mat. Curl the back toes under, lifting that back leg. Slide that foot back. Now we're in a plank. Heels come to the back of the mat. We tuck the pelvis slightly to ignite the core. Hollow through that upper back. Widen those fingers. We're going to go into a chaturanga. So if you need to modify, drop your knees down and lift those feet. Always coming forward, breathing in, exhaling, keeping those elbows in at your side. And everybody lift up to your upward facing dog. Deep breath in. We're going to bend the knees, curl one toe, then the other, and exhale your way into downward dog. Again, making sure your stance is not too wide apart. Breathing, getting that tailbone up towards the sky. Take one more big breath. Left leg comes high, breathing in. Square those hips, flex that foot. Exhaling, bringing that knee to chest. Coming forward, shoulders over those wrists. Step it up. Help it along if you need. Lower down on that back knee, flatten that foot. Squeezing the inner thighs together to help lift you up. Hands come to heart. Slowly beginning to sink forward into that front leg and hip. Breathing in, and we're going to slowly exhale, twisting over to the left. Now the right arm, the outside of the right elbow is on the outside of the left leg. My left elbow is facing the sky. My gaze is over my hands, looking to the left, making sure the left hip doesn't pop out to the side, keep it in line. Aware of that core, breathing. Slowly coming back through center, lifting up to a neutral position. Deep breath in, hands frame the front foot flat, lifting up on the back foot, exhaling your way into a plank. This time we're going to drop our knees down, lift the feet. We're going to bring our chest and chin to the mat. Lower the feet down, keeping the tailbone tucked up towards the sky. Using your hands under your shoulders so that you're not putting a lot of pressure on your chin. And let's come down to our bellies. Keeping the feet pressed into the mat. Let's come into Sphinx pose. So we're going to bring our elbows right under our shoulders. You want all of your toes touching the mat, even your pinky toe. You do not want your belly resting on the mat. You want to lift up with those forearms, tightening the core. Your core should be really ignited in this pose. I wanted to say posture and I wanted to say pose. Posture. Take a breath. One more breath. We're going to lift the right leg, grabbing that foot, wherever it is, and stretching it in towards that glute, lifting that elbow up towards the sky. Take a breath. One more breath, release. Bring that arm back down, tightening the core. We're going to lift the left leg, grabbing that foot, stretching it in towards the glute, elbow reaches towards the sky. Take a breath. One more breath. Slowly release, coming back to your forearms. We're going to, if you're needing a modification, we're going to come up to a forearm plank. You can drop your knees down and lift your feet. This is a modified version. If not, lift up, tighten the core, hollow through that upper back, push back with those heels. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more breath. Everybody drop your knees down. We're going to come into a wide-legged child's pose. Knees come as wide as your mat. Toes touch, big toes touch. Not all the toes. Sitting back on those heels. And then we slowly walk the arms forward, melting the chest towards the mat. Third eye to the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more breath. And we're slowly going to round through those upper backs. Come back into tabletop. Curl the toes, coming right back to downward dog. Walking it out, pedaling those feet. Breathing. Let's step the right foot up and then the left, coming to the front of our mats. We're gonna ignite those thighs, small bend in the knee, tighten the core, lifting that tailbone up towards the sky, bringing more weight into the balls of our feet and our toes, letting the top half of us hang heavy, breathing. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Now for the next few poses, if you have your blocks nearby, please keep them close. If you do not have blocks, it's okay. We're going to slowly begin to rise, one vertebrae at a time. Deep breath in, exhale, arms overhead, hands to heart. Bringing those feet close together to touch. Maybe that feels awkward to you. If it does, you can keep them about an inch apart. Maybe your kneecaps feel funny, they're not jiving. It happens. It's just your anatomy. Sometimes my feet together feels funny because of my kneecaps, so I have to kind of widen them a bit. So let's stand up nice and tall. We're gonna bring hands to heart, and we're gonna slowly sit back. Chair pose. Bringing hands to your shoulders, so they're crisscrossed in front, like so. Staying in our chair pose, I'm going to bring my left elbow over to the right, come through center, and go to the other side. I'm going to keep doing this, breathing while I do. Being aware of that core. Let's sit down a little further. Bring the belly to the thighs. Hands can come to the mat. Slowly coming into your forward fold. And let's roll it up. Deep breath in. Arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to stand up nice and tall. Shoulders down, away from your ears. There's a couple variations of this. So firstly, lift all of your left toes and then put them down one by one, suctioning that foot to the mat. We're going to slowly begin to lift the right leg. You have the option to stay here, maybe with your hands on your heart, just balancing. You can also bring your left hand on the outside and twist open. Or you also have the option to wrap your left arm around that bent knee and come into your prayer hands. Wherever you are, take a few breaths. And let's slowly release. Shake it out. And let's take it to the other side. Lifting all of the right toes, put them down one by one. Standing up nice and tall, hands can come to your heart. We're going to lift the left knee this time. Again, you can stay here. You can bring the right hand on the outside and twist open, looking to the left. Or placing that right elbow in the crook of that leg, or the leg in the crook of the elbow. Prayer hands. And breathe. Slowly release. Shake it out. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls. And then the other way. Stretching those arms overhead, breathing in. Exhale, we're going to stretch it over to the right. Hips come out to the left, coming through center. Breathing in, exhaling over to the left, hips come out to the right. And hands to heart. We're going to bring the hands to the small of our back, shoulder blades come together, shoulders roll open, chest is open. We're going to slowly push our hips forward, looking up to the sky. Small back bend. Don't throw your head back. Keep that neck nice and long. One more breath. And slowly come on up. We're going to breathe in, arms overhead. Exhale, dive it down, coming into your forward fold. This time we're going to wrap our arms around our legs, grabbing the opposite elbow. Bend in your knees, fine. Breathing. Slowly release. Let's walk and pedal those legs out. One knee bends, then the other. Feeling how tight the backs of those legs are. And halfway lift, hands to your shins, nice flat back. Crown of the head is pulling forward, tailbone pulling backward. Breathing in, exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. We're going to bring the right leg back, keeping that leg lifted. Pushing back with that heel, lifting the left toes, put them down one by one. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Slowly begin to rise, hands to heart. We're going to breathe in here. Exhale, twisting it over to the left. Right arm comes to the outside of that left leg. Sink a little deeper in that front leg. Take a breath. You can stay here, or if you have your block nearby, bring it to the outside of that left foot. Maybe you bring the bottom hand to that block and open it up. Wherever you are, take one more breath and slowly frame that front foot. Turn on the back foot. We're going to come into Humble Warrior. So you can place your block in front of that foot, or you can have your fingertips on the mat, or you can place your forearm on that thigh. Wherever you are, we're going to take a deep breath in. Right arm lifts up. Exhale, bring that arm over that right ear. Keeping the chest open. Take a deep breath in. One more deep breath. We're going to use our core and the front thigh to help lift us up into Warrior Two. Take a deep breath in, front palm flips. Reaching front, exhale, come into your Exalted Warrior. You can use that back hand and back leg as stability. You can wrap that back arm around your back. Half a bind, looking up to the sky, don't lose that bend in the front leg. Deep breath in, exhale, straighten that front leg. Stretch back a little further. Deep breath in, exhale, coming back to Warrior Two arms. We're going to reach front, 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 front as far as you can go until you can't go anymore, and we're going to tip forward into our triangle pose. Maybe you don't have a block, you can use your shin. If you do have a block, you can bring the block in front or behind. Opening that chest like you're flat up against a wall. Breathing. And let's slowly begin to turn. Bending the front knee, turning on the back foot. We're going to step up closer, coming into pyramid pose. This is a great place if you have blocks to utilize, coming into a nice flat back, long spine. You can also bring both elbows behind your back, grabbing opposite elbows, keeping a nice flat back. Or if you're able to do prayer hands, that's a little more advanced, but I like options. And coming into revolve triangle. If you have blocks, you can either put your hand on the inside or the outside of the foot. It's up to you. If you do not have blocks, I highly recommend fingertips on the inside of the foot. And we're going to slowly twist from our torso, opening up to the left, revolve triangle. Take a breath. If you feel yourself shaking and wobbling, that's really good for you. And turning back to the front, framing that foot, bending on that front knee, lifting up to a standing split, placing your hand on your shin. See if you can begin to open up into your half moon. Now, you can also utilize your block here in your half moon. I love props. So wherever you are, take one more breath and slowly step it up. Hands to the mat. Let's just walk it out for a minute, stretching those legs. Breathing. Coming into a forward fold. Let's slowly begin to rise up, one vertebrae at a time. Breathing in. Arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. I love props. Like, I'm all about the props and the toys. They're the toys. They're not really toys, but I call them toys. They're great. They've helped me so much in my practice, so I highly recommend, especially blocks. Let's breathe in, arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive it down. Halfway lift, hands come to the shins, nice long spine. Breathing in, exhale to your forward fold. Hands come to the mat. This time, our left leg steps back. We're on the back ball of that foot. Pushing back with that heel. I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs together. Lifting up on that the right toes. We're going to lower down one at a time. Squeezing those inner thighs. We're going to come up, hands to heart. Deep breath in. Exhale, let's twist it over. Looking over to the right. You can stay here, take a couple more breaths. Or if you have a block and you want to try it, place that lower hand on that block and open up. Breathing. Let's slowly begin to frame the front foot. Again, if you want to use the block for your humble warrior, you can. You don't have to. You can place your fingertips on the inside of that foot. You can also place your forearm on that thigh. We're going to slowly turn on the back of that foot and open up to our humble warrior. So you're either going to be here with your block, or here with your fingertips, or here with your forearm on the thigh. So wherever you're comfortable, let's take one more deep breath. Utilizing our quad muscle, the front foot, and our core, we're going to slowly begin to rise up to warrior two. Flipping the front palm, reach forward, breathing in. Exhale into your exalted warrior. Keeping the bend in that front leg, looking up to the sky. Take a breath. tightening on the front leg, reaching back a little further. Take a breath. Warrior two arms. We're going to reach forward, forward, forward until you can't anymore. And then tip right into your triangle pose. You can use your shin. You can let the hand come in front or behind. You can use your block. You can bring the block behind. Wherever you are, take one more breath. And we're slowly going to turn towards the front, bending on the front leg, turning on the back ball of that foot. I'm going to slowly bend the back leg, and I'm just going to baby step my stance a little bit closer. Because now we're coming into pyramid pose. So this time, feet face front a little bit more. The front foot is straight. The back foot has a little bit of a turnout in it. Not as much as it would in like a warrior two. So it's like kind of halfway turned out, halfway to the front. You can use your blocks here to have a nice flat back, hips square to the front, or you can utilize your fingertips, nice flat back. You can also bring your hands behind your back, grasping both elbows, nice flat back, or prayer hands, which is your hands coming together behind your back in prayer. Take a breath. One more breath. And we're going to release, frame that foot. We're going to come into our revolved triangle now. So again, if you have blocks, you can utilize by bringing it on the inside or the outside. If you do not have a block, you can use your fingertips on the inside. Wherever you are, we're going to take a deep breath in and exhale, twisting open into our revolved triangle. Take a breath. One more breath. And slowly turning to the front. We're going to have a baby bend in that front foot. Hands come forward. We're going to come into our standing split. And this is where we're going to come into our half moon. Maybe you utilize your blocks. Maybe not. Maybe you're shaking and wobbling like I am, and that's great. Back foot is flexed. Slowly turning to the front. We're going to step it up. Let's walk those feet out, stretching those legs by bending one leg and then the other. Take a breath. Let's heel toe the feet a little bit wider. We're going to come right into our yogic squat or malasana. I'm learning all the fancy names, like the true names of the yoga poses. Take a deep breath. Tailbone is towards the sky, chest is open. Elbows are pushing out on those inner thighs. Inner thighs are pushing in, creating resistance. Hands come down to the mat. Bring them behind you and sit down. We're going to do some core work. Let's slowly grab the backs of our thighs, lay back one vertebrae at a time. Let me scoot up so you can see me better. Legs come up, shins are parallel with the sky. Arms come up, so you kind of look like a dead robotic bug in a way. So we're going to breathe in. Exhale, right arm and left leg stretch out, and then they come in. So knees come in line with the hips. Elbows come in line with the shoulders. And that's where your starting point is. So then we do the other side. Nice, slow and controlled movements. We're not going fast here. We want to keep it neat. The faster you go, the less beneficial it is, in my opinion. Make sure you're breathing. So it's just opposite leg and opposite arm stretch out and then come back in. They suspend in the air. And hug those knees in. Give yourself a little back massage by rounding those little knees around. And we're going to bring our arms overhead, suspended, neck nice and long. Keep that piece of fruit right here like an orange. Legs come up. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to ride the bike. I know. If you breathe, it won't hurt so bad. Don't scrunch your neck. Reverse the bike. Reverse it again. Reverse it one more time. Don't give up now. And hug those knees in. Yes, you did so good. Come on, it's not that bad. Go ahead and do a good morning stretch. Arms overhead, feet down by the bottom of your mat. Act like somebody's pulling your hands and another person's pulling your toes, and they're trying to split you in half. Deep breath in. Lift those legs up. Arms overhead. Breathing in, exhaling. Cross the left arm over the right leg. Lower the left leg down. Bring it up. Come on, don't give up. I know it hurts. 3 more. Hug the knees in. Yes. I know you're cussing me out. Cuss. What do I say? Cuss at me now, thank me later. Cuss me out now, thank me later. Yep, that's what I say. Because it's true. All right, let's rock and roll, or you can turn to a fetal position and come into a seat. Feet on the mat, sitting up nice and tall. Knees are bent. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. And then we're going to slowly walk that foot in. But we also want to keep a nice straight spine. So you can hug the hands around both legs. Feeling that nice stretch in the back of your leg and your hip. You want to bring that leg close to your chest as possible, but also keeping the integrity of the spine. And release. we're gonna take it to the other side. So you might want to start out with the leg a little bit further away, the right leg. And then we're gonna cross the left leg over. Sitting up nice and tall. Bringing that foot in a little closer, and you can cross or intertwine those hands around just to hold those legs in place. Keeping the integrity of the spine, bringing that leg closer to the chest. Feeling that nice stretch. Breathing. Breathing. And one more breath. And let's release. Bring the right leg behind you. So I just bent that leg and I brought it behind me. My left leg is bent and it's in front of me. I'm going to place that left foot on the right thigh. So it kind of looks like, instead of Indian style, I just flipped my right leg behind me. That's it. Make sure both sits bones are on the mat, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to stretch over to the left, looking over that left shoulder, keeping a nice long spine. Take a breath. One more breath. And this time we're going to bring that leg that's behind us and flatten that foot over that bent left leg. Both sits bones are now on the mat. I'm going to wrap my left arm around and twist over to the right. Looking over that right shoulder, keeping that nice long spine, using that right arm to straighten my back. Kind of like a kickstand to keep me upright. Take a breath. One more breath. And let's take it to the other side. So this time I bend my right leg. And then I bring my left leg behind me. And I bring that foot to that thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. I'm going to twist over to the right this time. Looking over that right shoulder. Sitting up nice and tall. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So if I were to sit Indian style, both legs would be bent, but instead I just took that left leg from my Indian style position and I brought it around the back and I'm sitting up nice and tall and then I'm twisting. See? Okay, so we're coming out of that now and we're lifting that leg back up and we're going to bring it right over and plant it. Now you want to make sure both sits bones are on the mat. You don't want to be lifting up. Right? And we're going to wrap the right arm around that left leg. Turning, looking over that left shoulder, keeping that nice long spine. Take a breath. One more breath. And coming out of it. We're going to practice our splits, but we're going to do it real quick because this is going to be a really long video otherwise. Okay. Grabbing your blocks if you have them. If not, don't worry. Let's bring the right leg forward first. Coming into a nice low lunge. If you don't have blocks, you're going to use your fingertips. Very simple. Take a breath. One more breath. Coming into your runner's lunge right from your low lunge. Keeping that height. Keeping that long spine, take a breath. Foot is flexed. One more breath. Coming right through to your low lunge, sinking deep into that hip. Take a breath. One more breath. Coming right back, runner's lunge. Take a breath. One more breath. Neutral position, I'm going to place my block. I'm then going to inch back with my back leg, and I'm going to slide the front leg forward. Sitting up over my hips as best as I can. We don't want to sink forward or back. You want a nice long spine. Take a breath. One more breath. And one more. We're going to place both hands on the left side of us. We're going to bring the lower half of that leg in. And then we're going to bring that knee in, and then the toe, and then the knee, and then the toe, until we can reach both knees together safely, taking it over to the left side. Left foot comes up, we're going to come into a low lunge. Again, using your fingertips if you have no blocks, sinking into that front hip, take a breath. One more breath. Coming right into your runner's lunge, keeping the height, nice long spine, foot is flexed, breathing. Breathing. Coming right back through, sinking deep into that front hip, take a breath. One more breath. Coming right back, runner's lunge, keeping the height. You might need a bend in that knee a little bit, that's fine. Coming up to neutral. I'm going to place my block down. I'm going to inch back, and if you don't have a block, you're just going to use your fingertips to pop up. And we're going to push forward with that front leg. Sitting up as tall as you can. I know you have to utilize your fingertips if you don't have the block. Breathing, breathing. One more breath. Awesome. Both hands come to the right side. We're going to lift up and swipe that lower half of the leg in. Then bring the knee in, and then the toe, and then the knee, and then the toe, until I can safely bring both knees together. We're going to come right into our corpse pose. We're going to gently lay back, one vertebrae at a time. Legs out long. Shifting, releasing any tension. That goes for your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, your glutes. Release the tension. Close your eyes. I want you to sink deep into your mat. I want you to breathe slowly and controlled, and I want you to think of how proud you are of yourself for completing nearly 30 days of yoga every single day and not letting anything get in your way. Let's start by taking a deep breath in and completely exhale. Continue breathing on your own. Fingers and toes. Right arm comes overhead. Left leg bends, foot flat on the mat. We're going to slowly turn to the right, coming into our fetal position. Using that right arm as a pillow. Just take a moment, take a breath. And let's slowly begin to rise up into our seated position. Feel free to sit up on a block. I wish I could make this video longer. There's so much more that I want to do with you guys, but all in good time. Miscellaneous March is coming up March 1st, and I will some days be posting multiple videos if they're shorter. Other days I'll be posting one. They're going to be in no particular order. It's just going to be all different types of yoga for whatever mood you're in. hence the name Miscellaneous March. So I hope you guys join me for that as well. I've really enjoyed practicing with each and every one of you the last 29 days. It's been absolutely amazing. So we're going to finish off with 2 ohms, calling to our chakras, which is very good for our endocrine system. And let's begin. Hands can be in your lap or just wherever's comfortable. You can have a mudra if you'd like. If you are going to do a mudra, make sure you're pressing. Like, don't just lightly touch. Really press, because that's how you really get through those nerve endings. You really want, you don't want to make it a pointless mudra, right? All right, close our eyes. Let's take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Give yourself a smile. Gently open those eyes. You can literally, if you go back and like rewind, you can literally watch as my body just relaxes every time I do the Om. It's pretty cool. Bring the hands to your heart. I just want to say again, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for being here, trusting me, and seeing it through with me. I really appreciate you, your tenacity, your hard work. I'm very proud of each and every one of you. So I'll see you in March. Namaste, my friends. Love you guys. Have a great rest of February.